Welcome to the hunt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Huntcast Podcast. Greg and Doug here on June the 18th for episode 13. We're 2 days late.
Yeah.
Partially because I didn't get back till late on Sunday from Franklin. And yesterday, Doug and I had the honey-do list to go over.
Yeah.
So we are here and going to talk about some IBO.
Yeah, big weekend for you.
Maybe not so much for me.
Wow.
But we'll get into that part. But no, so this past weekend was the second jewel of the International Bowhunters Organization Triple Crown Tournament held in Franklin, Pennsylvania, north of Pittsburgh, south of Erie, probably about an hour from Ohio. A lot of Ohio shooters out there for sure. But super cool. I had never been to Franklin to shoot, and it's set up really nice. It's a 2-mile run county park. So it's Venango County is the county we were in, and it was interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting to say the least. But so we'll start the easy way. So Thursday we got out there. It was about a 4.5 hour drive, and we had 4 of the kids from our JOAD team shooting with us. So they were meeting us out there. We left around, 10:30, 11 o'clock. Got out there. My wife and I were the first ones to get there. So as soon as we got there, I registered or got my registration taken care of, and went right over to the bag range, just make sure the bow was all copacetic after bouncing around in the truck for 4.5 hours. And their bag range, their practice range was set on kind of a hill, but the sights were on, everything was good. I felt good. And then the kids kind of started rolling in. So we got their registration taken care of, and there was 2 kids and their parents staying in one house, myself and my wife, 2 of the kids and their parents staying in another house. So it was a real quick practice day, and we got out to get checked in and whatnot for the housing situations. But Friday was an early day. The shooting started at 7.
Wow. Okay.
So you ever wake a 13-year-old up at like 6 in the morning? So Friday was an early start, but what worked out good was, because unlike Worlds where it's more kind of planned out, like you have a shooting time.
Right.
This is kind of, you get there and you have until Sunday to shoot all of your targets and get your scores in.
Oh, so there's no knock time.
Yeah, there's no knock time.
Okay.
There's no super big rush.
Okay.
That type of thing. So the way the breakdown works is everybody shoots 40 targets, and you have 2 days, 3 days technically, and I'll explain what I meant by 2 days in a minute. So we got them there early. I got them out on the practice range, just, get a couple arrows in, get warmed up, get loose, and we got them right out. And that was a godsend because, one, nobody woke up on Friday morning to be there at 7 a.m.
Okay.
So it was kind of good, but kind of not good at the same time.
Yeah.
The other thing was, we knew that there was going to be rain on Friday.
Okay.
We just didn't know what time it was going to start.
Yeah.
So Big Will, who that's what we call him, is Big Will. His real name is William. We call him Big Will, and Noah were shooting the same course.
Okay.
So their course was a little further away than from Thunder Village, and so was Alden's. And so they had to take like a tram, a shuttle bus type deal. It was a pickup truck with a trailer. And they took them out to their course. Alex, her courses were closer, so I drove her up in my truck.
Okay.
The downfall is you can't go out on course until you have at least 3 people in a shooting group.
Gotcha.
Because of scorecards.
Yeah.
So Alex waited a few minutes, and she ended up going out with 2 older adults, I'm going to say in their late 50s, early 60s.
Okay.
And they were, I don't even remember what classes they were in, but both shooting compound. And so I sent her out. My goal is I was going to go back down and practice, or go back to the house, depending on, kind of what it felt.
Yeah.
But I realized by the time I got back down to Thunder Village, Big Will's dad was down there kind of hanging out.
Okay.
And I said, there's no sense in me leaving. They're the first ones on the course. They're going to be done in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
There's nobody in front of them.
Right.
So we waited. I waited about an hour and ended up driving back up to Alex's course just to see kind of where she was at. And the guys remembered me at the registration table and was like, oh, she just got out on her second course. If you want to catch up to her, probably only 2 targets in.
Okay.
So, of course, the first course, they flew through it, which was only 10 targets.
Okay.
Then she was going to her second course, which was 10 targets. But because now it was, 8:15, there was people out there.
Right.
So they got backed up a little bit. So I walked the second course with her. And now this was her first national 3D tournament. She shot Lancaster, which is indoor paper. But this was the first go around at, outdoor 3D in a serious tournament situation. Yeah. And the big thing for those of you that might not know, IBO is all unknown distance. You have to judge your distance.
Right.
So she did pretty decent on the first course, which I didn't see. About 3 targets in on the second course, she shoots an 11. So I'm super ecstatic. I'm like, that's awesome. She's doing good.
Yeah.
About the 6th target, 7th target, she shot a 5.
Okay.
No big deal. Still caught foam. But I could tell she was getting tired. And 2, her distance judging was starting to get to her.
Okay.
So then she smokes another 11 on target 10. And I'm like, hey, this is okay.
Yeah.
Last target. And I saw when she drew back that she was tired. Knew it as soon as she drew back.
Yeah.
And as soon as she let that arrow fly, she dropped her front arm.
Okay.
Zipped one right underneath it.
Uh-huh.
So had a 0, no big deal. So all the kids, we meet them back down at Vendor Village. And thank God we did, because Alex and I jumped in my truck and went back to the house.
Yeah.
Big Will and his dad were staying with us. They followed suit. But they were a few minutes behind us because Will was packing up his bow.
Okay.
And apparently, because we had missed this by like minutes, the skies opened up and it was like a torrential downpour.
Yeah.
And there was 2 lightning strikes on the course.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
So I didn't know that Big Will had gotten back because I was out getting the grill ready for lunch. And I come out and he's like drying his bow off. I'm like, what'd you do? Drop it in the puddle? He's like, it was pouring.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? He's like, you guys left, and like 2 minutes later, it just started pouring. So I guess at some point they did send out their crew to get people off the course because of the lightning.
Yeah.
And then it was a quick deal, but like we never saw a drop of rain.
Wow.
It didn't rain once that we saw. But they did, get people back out in the afternoon and they finished up their courses. So then Saturday rolled around and I couldn't watch the kids because now it was my turn to shoot.
Right.
And I shot semi-pro class, so I stepped out of the amateur level, I guess we'll call it, into semi-pro. And another thing, if you don't know anything about IBO, is once you go into a class, you cannot go backwards. So I'm in semi-pro now.
Like it or not.
Right. So, and honestly, before I even get into the story, my elite verdict shot phenomenally.
Yeah.
Probably the best the bow has felt in my hand since I've had it.
Okay.
I'll start with that because that's the positive.
That's a short list of positives.
Yeah, very short.
Yeah.
No, and honestly, it wasn't a horrible weekend. There was just things I couldn't control.
Yeah. Well, it's all new. Listen.
Yeah.
First go around, so
yeah,
it was all new.
So
it's a learning curve.
I'm the first person. So the pro ranges, because semi-pro and pro shoot the same ranges.
Yeah.
So we're like a mile up the road from where everybody else is. So the people at the trailer said, yeah, just make a left at the stop sign, drive up, you'll see signs. So of course I'm the first one there Saturday morning because we don't start till 10. So I got the kids out and ready.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm going to go up and practice because the pro ranges have their own practice range and everything. So I'm the first one there. And a gentleman from Ohio, and I cannot think of his name, shooting pro class, shoots for Matthews. Want to say his name was Doug, but don't quote me on that. Kind of looked like you. He was short, but he had a big beard.
Okay.
But so he pulled in not very far behind me, and we started shooting at the bag range, and everything was feeling good. So then we do a meeting. The people from IBO come up, they do a little meeting. They have the sheets of paper out who you're going to shoot with for the day.
Right.
So there was 2 courses, M and N, and we started on N on Saturday. So first couple targets, I'm feeling great. I got 8s, 10s, I even shot an 11 early on, and it was feeling good. I'm like, okay, this might not be so bad.
Yep.
I wasn't 100%. My yardages weren't perfect,
Yeah.
but I was in there. I was in the scoring area.
Yeah.
So I was feeling really good. And I'm trying to think of what target it was on the day one. I shot a 5 real quick about midway through, and I'm like, oh man, that's not going to help any.
Yeah.
But I was good until probably as soon as we turned downhill. So it's a shotgun start. We started on target 18.
Okay.
So they were either flat or slightly uphill, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Yardages, our max is 50 in semi-pro. And everything, like I said, was feeling good. But as soon as we turned, got back on 1, 2, 3, I think it was number 5 or number 6. It was a nasty downhill shot.
Okay.
And I barely caught the stomach of a target, like barely. If the wind blew, the arrow might have fell out there, you know. So that was not fun to do that and then be like, just get in my head about it. Like, okay, is my yardage that far off?
Yeah.
Got through that day, not with a great score, but I had like a streak of 5s. There was like 5 5s in a row.
Okay.
And there's just no way to make up, that many points on that day.
No.
So I was feeling okay, but I wasn't happy with the score. So I knew I had some work to do on Sunday. So I get there, we're starting at 8 on Sunday, and I took 2 shots at the practice range, and I happened to be shooting next to Emily McCarthy, and I don't remember who was in front of me. And I only took 2 shots, and I just wanted to kind of just get the muscles loose quick.
Yeah.
But I knew we were going to course M, and all I heard the pros saying on Saturday was, we're going into the hellhole. And I didn't know exactly what that meant until we got down there.
Then it all made sense.
And it all came to fruition.
Yeah.
So I started on target 12 on Sunday. We were shooting with different shooters.
Now you said you were with Emily, so they mix men and women. Yeah,
so this was just on the practice range. So on the practice range,
gotcha.
It's Saturday morning. Levi was standing on one side of me. Then Dan McCarthy was next to me. And everybody is super cool. Like, they'll just chat and whatnot. But so Sunday morning, target 12, the stake was in semi-sunlight, and the target was just in this shadow.
Yeah, tough.
And I knew I had some bad number calls, and when I say number calls, distances.
Yeah.
On Saturday, so I'm like, man, you can't. This course today is gonna be no joke. Like, there's no room for making missed numbers. So I looked at it. I kept going back and forth, and literally got to the stake, went to draw the bow, and my head went, give it clicks. So I gave it clicks.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a bad call to give it clicks, because even after I drew, I still felt like I was going to be short.
Okay.
So I aimed a little above the rings and sent one zipping right over its back.
Yeah.
And I was like, you got to be kidding.
I trust your first instinct.
Yep.
Always.
So I'm like, okay, just don't do that again and we'll be fine. The very next target, it's completely flipped. The stake is in complete darkness and the target is in the sunlight.
Okay.
So now I'm like, well, was I short on the last one and I aimed high and shot over its back, or was I just too tall and just should have never aimed high and sent it over its back?
Right.
So again, going back and forth, and I was afraid that I was going to be short. So I gave it clicks, and this time I held dead center and I was short and went underneath its belly.
Okay.
So start the morning off with 2 zeros, like immediately just crushes you.
Yeah.
There's no coming back from that.
Yeah, that's discouraging.
So I'm like, okay, just don't make any more dumb mistakes. Call the number, whatever you think it is, just shoot it.
Yep.
Very next target, I missed the 11 ring by probably half of an arrow width.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, 10. And fourth target, 10. Fifth target, 8.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, so why were my numbers so far off on those first 2 targets that I went above and under it?
Yeah.
And now I'm just missing rings. Just, the shot broke before I wanted it to, or broke a little late as the pin was moving or something. and we got about the 8th target in, and I know I pushed it. As soon as I broke, I pulled my hand to the left side and I shot a 5, but I was dead center with the 11. It was just, I pushed it.
Yeah. But that's okay, because at least you know what you did.
Right. And that's why I kind of, preluded the story of the bow shot great.
Yeah.
There's, nothing to blame on the bow. It shot great. The arrows were great. Everything was working. I was surprised how well my lens. So in my old setup, I ran an 8X lens in the Shrewd.
Okay.
In my CBU setup, I only have a 6X lens.
Okay.
But unless it was like a super dark target or 40 something yards away,
yeah,
I could see rings on every animal.
Okay.
And I was never able to see that before.
Okay.
So, I know I was holding good. The bow was holding good. It was just, little goofy mistakes. So it broke quicker than I wanted it to. I am shooting a thumb button, but I shoot it like a hinge where I'm still pulling and just letting it hit my thumb to go off.
Yeah.
So target number 9, I swore I had the 11. Looking at it in the binoculars, I swore I had it. We get down there and it was like, could you called it 11? Maybe. But the line was bent, but my arrow wasn't in it.
Okay.
So again, I'm not going to argue over it. It was still 10. I'm sorry, that had to be target number 8. Target number 9, right? No, sorry. 7 was the bent 11 ring.
Okay.
And then 8 is a axis deer, slightly uphill. I called it for 32 and zipped it right off the back. Bounced right off the spine of it and went flying. I was like, a third 0.
Yeah.
There's no hope.
Yeah, right.
I finished with an 8 on a big mule deer. And then my final shot, which is the picture that I posted on Facebook, was a ram at 32.
Okay.
And I shot a 10.
Okay.
So put all my numbers together and probably shot one of the worst 3D scores I've ever shot. So I finished with a 289.
Yeah.
And there was 34 guys in our class, and I was number 34.
Well, someone had to come in last.
Yeah, that's right. So somebody had to do it. So, and again, it was, I can't blame the bow. I can't blame anything. It was literally bad distance.
Yeah. But you know what? The other thing too is, when was the last time that you did unknown?
2 years ago at Worlds.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Yeah. And then, again, that's nothing but I can blame on myself, for not getting out and practicing a little bit.
Yeah.
But the guys I shot with on Saturday and Sunday were awesome. There was a kid, his name was Cody. He was actually from St. Mary's, PA. He shot in my group Saturday, and Sunday I get to target 12.
Yeah.
A second shooter shows up at 12. We need 3 in order to go out.
Okay.
Well, 2 guys didn't show up. So the guys from IBO are walking through, checking everybody, and they're like, how many you got? And we're like, 2. So he went to the group above us, because there was 4, and was like, does anybody want to volunteer?
Okay.
And we couldn't see who he was talking to because there was trees in the way. And this kid comes walking by, and it was Cody. And he had the best shirt I have ever seen on a 3D course ever.
Yeah.
It was a button-up Hawaiian shirt.
Okay.
But the Hawaiian was big round field targets.
Oh, okay.
In beer mugs. And he shot lights out, man. He was shooting a POC Dominator. He shot really well. The guy Larry from Saturday, he was from Indiana.
Yeah. He
was hammering. I felt bad though. Saturday, the 111 that I did shoot.
Yeah.
If you remember last week, I was telling you I had to switch inserts and all this stuff because I got the wrong components.
Yep.
I finally watched that kick out bushing work.
Oh boy.
So he caught my arrow in the 11 ring and it bounced him into a 5.
Oh man.
And he was devastating.
Yeah, I bet.
He didn't leave the 10 ring most of the day.
Yeah.
He might have had an 8 here and there, but man, he was nowhere close to a 5 ever.
Yeah.
And I had my binoculars up when he shot, and I watched it hit the arrow.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And he's like, man, stupid 8. I'm like, I don't think that was an 8.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you hit the back of my arrow. He's like, yeah. I said, I have kick-up bushings in. Are you serious? And I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a 5.
Yeah.
And we got down there, and he was heartbroken.
Was your arrow intact?
Yeah, he took a big chunk out of the bushing, but
Okay.
other than that, it was fine.
Okay.
Even the ones that I missed on, I only lost one of the arrows.
Okay.
They're all black, so finding it in the middle of the dark in the woods.
Yeah, it's tough.
But both arrows out of the 3 that I missed, 2 we found, and there wasn't a scratch on them.
Okay.
So I was pretty surprised by that, because I've never seen what the altars would do.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I said, it was a learning experience. But so then, of course, I didn't see any of the kids or hear anything that was going on.
Right.
Because I was on course on Saturday. So I get back to the house and I told the parents, like, don't text me. Like, I'll find out when I get back.
Yeah.
So after Will had shot, like, I forget what he shot on Friday. It wasn't horrible. So Big Will is like my through and through paper shooter. He doesn't want anything to do with 3D. He doesn't like moving a sight.
Yeah.
But he lost the bet with me, and that's why he had a shoot.
Okay.
At Franklin.
Okay.
So him and Noah, he had beat Noah on Friday by like 2 points. Noah was right behind him. Alden shot pretty decent, but left some points out there that he should have had. So then I watched Alex on the second course on Friday, but I'm like hoping that doesn't discourage her going into the Saturday.
Yeah.
So she shoots a 90 on her first course.
Okay.
I have a possible 100.
Okay.
The 11s are bonuses, so they only count the 10s.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's ecstatic and then goes into her second course or the second 10 targets and shoots like a 65.
Mm.
And when I got there, back to the house, her mom is like, yeah, she was pretty upset and she was starting to cry a little bit. And I said, why was she crying? And she, well, she didn't want to disappoint you. And I'm like, oh my God. So turns out, Alex comes in 8th place in her division.
Okay.
With a 306.
Wow. Okay.
So
good for her.
The very first thing, I didn't even say it on Sunday when they met me because I already knew what I shot. I already knew what they shot.
Yeah.
When they met me after I got done on Sunday, my wife looks at her and says, you beat him.
You're the one that should have been crying.
Yeah. She puts this little smirk on her face and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
But no, so she came in 8th, big row, finished in, I believe it was 10th.
Okay.
Noah was in 11th.
Okay.
And then Alden finished in 12th in 3D. But what I didn't know was Alden and Noah went out and shot the field course as well.
Okay.
And Alden ended up coming in 3rd place
in
field division.
Oh, nice. So
the good news is they all qualified for Worlds. So
everyone.
All 4 kids.
Oh, good.
Yep.
That's
so,
awesome.
Of course, it was probably the worst round of 3D I've ever shot in my life and felt like crap, but I was happy because obviously the kids did real well.
Yeah.
And 3 of them, it was their first time ever shooting a national 3D tournament. So I was super happy about that.
Yeah.
Last week, we talked a little bit about our buddy, Mikey Woomer.
Yes.
So I happened to be walking around Thunder Village and I ran into him.
Okay.
And I told him about the podcast.
Yeah. And
I said, hey, man, you missed it. We gave you a shout out last week. And
yeah, we did.
He loved the fact that you mentioned the Green Goblin.
Yep.
So he actually watched the episode this morning. And last week, if you remember, I told him, or I said that he was shooting a bowstring company, but I couldn't remember the name of it.
Right. We were just taking guesses.
Yep. You were, shot in the dark.
Yeah.
So he had actually posted on Facebook, shared the link to the podcast, and a couple of his buddies watched it. And the owner of, go ahead, Doug.
Beeline
Bowstrings.
Yes.
Cale Weathersby.
Yep. Out of Altoona.
Yep. So big shout out to Cale. We apologize for last week, not knowing the name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Beeline Bowstrings, and Mikey's got that on his Elite. So he retired the Goblin, I believe. But man, he shot, I think he was in 4th over this weekend, but he ended up in peer groups for Nelsonville.
Okay.
So basically the top 10 shooters get put in peer groups to shoot against, kind of each other.
Yeah.
So I think he's in the top 3 for IBO.
That's awesome.
So he also went and shot field, and he was like, he never knew what it was. And I still don't quite understand. I know it's foam. I know there's 3 different dots to shoot at.
Right.
And you shoot 2 arrows at each station. I just don't understand the whole deal. I'm just not a field guy. I don't know. But so, man, big shout out to Mikey. Mikey's been rocking this for a little bit. He's got Metropolis coming up. He's got the ASA shoot coming up.
Yeah.
And then he'll be out at Nelsonville. But unfortunately, the top 30 in semi-pro qualify for Worlds. And so I missed by 4.
Yep.
So I will not be shooting at Worlds. I did not qualify.
Okay.
So I can go out and shoot the trophy class, which is like the non-money class.
Right.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
What class is Mike shoot?
Mike, I know it's a 100 class because he's shooting pins.
Okay.
I don't know exactly which one because there's like 4 different like 100 classes. There's like 100 release, 100. Yeah, I don't remember because it's not a class that I pay attention to just because I don't shoot it.
Okay.
So no offense, Mikey. I just don't remember what class you were in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's shooting lights out, and hopefully he can bring home another W out in Metropolis.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been on fire at ASA.
Yeah.
But he does shoot known 30. So it's like 30 pins or pins 30 class, they call it. And you can use a rangefinder in that division.
Okay.
So ASA, he's using a known yardage.
Yeah.
But to come in fourth, guessing is pretty stout. So
yes.
And for those of you that follow the recaps that we do of the pro classes, so men's pro at Franklin, Dan McCarthy came in with, I believe he shot 22 up.
So
I actually was turning in my scorecards, and Tim Gillingham was at the table when I was turning my cards in, and Dan must have just turned his in.
Yeah.
And Tim saw it, and he was like, really? 22 up?
Right.
And he was like, this is unreal.
Yeah, that's just stupid.
Yeah. I mean, basically, you didn't miss an 11 almost the entire day.
Right.
In second, Levi Morgan, he had some ugly shoes on, man. Levi, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but those were ugly.
Okay.
He had the Matthews jersey on, tan pants.
Okay.
And
which is typical for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm used to seeing him like in the white sneaks.
Yep.
But these were like white, off-white, like almost like a rain boot.
Really?
But they were short. They were like, only ankle high.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no offense there, Levi, but your shoes were ugly. And third was Justin Martin. In women's pro, Dan's wife, Emily, comes home with a W. And I believe at some point they shared a sandwich.
Yeah.
There was a bag with half a sandwich hanging off a tree.
Okay.
With Emily written on it.
Okay.
And so I think Dan might have ate the first half and left the other half for her. I'm not real sure.
So good weekend for the McCarthys.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Second place was Erin McGlattery.
Okay.
She's a tall drink of water.
Is she?
Yeah, doesn't look real tall on TV. She's definitely tall.
Okay.
I'm 6'2". I'm going to put her at 5'8", 5'9".
Okay.
Easy.
Yeah.
I didn't get to talk to her, but I'm really wondering if she has an Irish accent.
Yeah.
With McGlattery as a last name. You would almost have to think so. But in third was Cara Kelly.
Okay.
And I found something out this weekend.
Yeah.
So I did get to talk to Cara.
Okay.
She is the marketing manager for Numa.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So we talked a little Numa business.
Okay.
And what made me find this out was she had the new camo lightweight hoodie on today, Sunday morning because it was a little chilly.
Yeah.
When we got there.
Okay.
But yeah, she had it on. So when we were done shooting, she was there talking to some people that I knew, and I went over and I knew she knew Amber from Numa.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that she actually worked for Numa.
Okay.
So she did pretty darn good. She made the shoot down, came in third. And then the senior class, another PA boy, Mr. Tony Tazza, came in first in senior pro.
Yeah. He's had a pretty good season so far.
Yeah.
He's been at the podium quite a bit.
And I watched him on the practice range, and he's just a shooter.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly how old he is, but obviously senior class. So,
yeah.
But yeah, shooting like crazy. Your buddy, the Hammer, came in second.
Okay.
He had the gigantic bars on his bow.
Yeah.
This weekend.
I haven't seen that on the Matthews yet.
It was, it's real funny to see it up close.
Yeah.
And when I say up close, he happened to be walking in front of me on our way to courses Saturday morning, and he was doing something with his stool, and he was kind of like moving the bow around.
Yeah.
And those back bars almost got me twice. I was like, Ken was trying to kill me.
Yeah.
And in third place was Jeff Kirkland. So, but it was fun. Like I said, it's a different for me, it was different because obviously, you go to Lancaster, all the pros are there and you see them and stuff. And obviously, I'm not like a fanboy, so I wasn't like taking pictures and stuff of people.
Yeah.
But they're all super cool, just to be able to shoot next to them on the practice range and, just shoot the shit while you're flinging arrows at 25, 35, 45 yards.
Right.
But yeah, it was an experience. I got to work on my judging, giving it up. That's for darn sure. Because like I said, the shots that went where I wanted them to go went.
Yeah.
I just got to get better at the numbers and call the number.
That's a huge part of it.
How Dan can take 40 targets and basically not miss an 11 or 10 ring.
Yeah, well, listen, this is what he does.
Right.
This is how he pays his bills.
But that's like, 40 targets now, and this wasn't like, there's been certain courses that I've been to that were unknown where you might have had to click your sight like 3 times. Or, hey, okay, I'm going to leave it at 30. I'm going to hold high or hold low.
Yeah.
There was none of that. Like the guys at IBO set this thing up. It was nasty. I know in the pro class, I don't know who shot them, but there was a gator.
Okay.
And I don't remember the yardage, but it was not super close. It wasn't super far.
Yeah.
But the way it was set up, all I know that there was some zeros in the pro class in that gator.
Okay. But that says a lot.
Yeah. And I tend it. One of the kids in our group, or one of the guys in our group, shot under it.
Okay.
By like this. Like I actually think it bounced off the foam and went under.
Yeah.
But that's the difference. Like, one, I probably should have stuck with the 23s to make the bow faster.
Well, you were pretty much borderline though, weren't you?
Well, apparently I have an old set of rules.
Okay.
Because one of the guys in my group on Friday was shooting 306.
Oh.
So either he got away with it or they changed the rules.
Yeah, right.
Because
that's a big difference.
Yeah, huge difference. Was probably close to 270 with the 27s. Yeah. But
it's
man,
37 feet per second.
Yeah.
It's huge.
So it's huge.
Huge.
But not only that, like the arrow drop, like I can't compensate for that. You know what I mean?
If you misjudge 30 and it's 32, it's not going to make that much of a difference.
Right. At the speed.
Yeah.
Right. But you have that drop that I had.
Yeah.
And you misjudge by 2 yards. That's gigantic.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it's definitely, even if you've never done it, just sign up for like the BBO class or the hunter class or whatever, and just go out. Yeah. Because it will make you a better judge of distance when it comes to hunting season. Yeah, and that's definitely the whole reason IBO is kind of around.
Yeah.
It's more based on the hunting situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I still don't understand how that one went. It was like a foot, that first one that missed. It was like a foot over its back.
Yeah. Now, were the shots very technical, or are they kind of wide open?
Oh, no. ASA definitely leaves you some room.
Yeah.
They might stick something like sticking out from behind a tree.
Right.
I think we had 2 shots that you weren't shooting between trees.
Okay.
And they were clean shots.
Yeah.
But when that first tree is 5 yards in front of your face, it definitely gives you something to think about. Like, I got to keep this bubble level.
They're not burying them though. Like,
no.
we do it.
No. It's all a lighting thing.
Gotcha.
They find where that sun hits.
Yeah.
And where the sun doesn't hit.
Yep.
And that was the problem. Like on the first course that we shot on Saturday, it was, so the way we do it is there's 2 people that have scorecards.
Yeah.
The other 2 people in the group, normally it's a group of 4, calls the scores.
Okay.
But what we do is we take the scorecards and however they're lined up. Now everybody does it a little different, but however they're lined up in your hand.
Yeah.
Okay. This person shoots first. This person shoots second, third, fourth.
Okay.
And then you just follow that person all day long, but we're switching.
Okay.
So
you just rotate.
Right. You're rotating around.
Yep.
So there might have been a target that I shot first and I had perfect everything. The lighting was just right.
Yeah.
There was no wind, no nothing. The next guy might get up and shoot, and that wind picked up just a tiny bit and moved a branch.
Yeah, sure.
Well, everything he saw when he saw me shoot and goes, okay, I know where I need to aim, is gone.
Yeah, that's all out the window.
So, obviously that's the key is when you have guys in your group, one, you're listening for their bow to try to gain some knowledge on how fast the bow is shooting.
Yeah.
So the next thing you're going to look at is hopefully he called the right number.
Yeah.
It was close.
Yeah.
And now you have something to aim at okay, he's just left of the 11, high of the 11, blah, 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 so that you have an idea in your head. Okay, I feel like my number's right.
Yeah.
I need to be to the right of his arrow. I need to be under his arrow. And there were definitely, multiple times a day where we all called the right number. We just made a bad shot.
Now, is everybody in the group in the same class?
Yes.
Okay. So there is nobody that's saying, I shot that at 32.
Right.
Because you're all in the same class. If you weren't, then you could do that.
Kind of.
You could help, like, with Alex.
Yeah, kind of.
She was shooting with
they definitely
people in a different class. They might not mind saying, I shot that for 35.
Right. And so, like, in those classes, so semi-pro, pro, you either shoot with semi-pros or you shoot with pros.
Yeah.
In the other classes that are on the other courses, they are mixed.
Okay.
Sometimes they do shoot from the same stake.
Okay.
Sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
But obviously IBO doesn't want you to do that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make it fair for other competitors.
Yeah, right.
Now, there was a gentleman who was walking with another group. His son was shooting in the semi-pro class.
Okay.
And not that he did it on purpose, but he was literally getting ready to walk down the course, and one of the IBO guys stopped him because he just grabbed his bino harness, so he can look.
Right.
But his rangefinder was
still in the pouch.
And so they made him walk it all the way back to his car.
Oh, okay.
And this was on Sunday.
Yeah.
We were in the hell hole.
Yeah.
So he had to walk up the hill, not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Okay.
So, yeah. So they definitely shy away from that. And obviously it's kind of unsportsmanlike, if even though you're not in the group with somebody that's shooting the same class in those classes, it's definitely not a fair shake if you kind of have an idea of what the person shot at for if they're shooting from the same stake.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about Claire once or twice.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was worried. I shouldn't say worried, but I was like, man, Alex has to shoot against Claire.
Yeah.
Like, Claire is just a shooter. It's basically all she does. She does not shoot in the same class. I didn't know this.
Okay, good.
It made me feel a little bit better. Not that the girls that, were in Alex's class aren't good. It's just, I know how Claire shoots.
Yeah.
Claire almost cleaned 40 targets.
Wow.
She cleaned 39 of them.
Wow.
She shot an 8 on one.
Huh.
Every single target was an 11.
Wow. That's crazy.
She shoots cub class.
Okay.
So she is actually younger than Alex, which I did not know this. And so she won in the 3D division and the field division.
Okay.
And it's just her dad or her mom, one or the other, posted a picture yesterday.
Yeah.
Of her practicing because she's going to Massachusetts for another event.
Okay.
And, last week when we recorded, it was like fall outside.
Yes.
Today, you might as well be sitting on the sun.
Yeah, it's 90 degrees.
So I don't know where they were at staying wise, but they had a pop-up tent.
Oh, man.
They had a box fan.
Yeah.
With an extension cord run from a house.
Oh, God.
Out to the yard.
Yeah.
And I saw 3 targets that were out in the grass.
Okay.
But she was practicing for her next event in the heat.
Okay.
They had the fan blowing on her, trying to give her some shade. But
yeah,
man, I'm telling you, when she hits, I don't know, she might be the next Bodie. She'll turn pro at 14.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Yeah.
Watch out, Paige. Yeah, cub class. So she's 12.
Yeah.
Judging distance. Now, granted, they shoot to 25, I think it is.
Right.
But still, 25 to not miss an 11.
That's crazy.
Like, ridiculous.
I couldn't do that if I knew the distance.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. It's like, how do you train a 12-year-old to judge so that, now, granted, I don't know what her bow speed is. I don't know what arrow weight it is.
Right.
So she may be just floating that pin, but still, floating the pin is not going to give you an 11 every time.
Right.
So you have to execute the shot every time.
Yes.
And it's got to be the same every time.
That's it. Yeah.
So shout out to her, and I apologize to her dad and mom because when I stopped to talk to Cara, I didn't realize that's who she was talking to.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't say hello to them, but I just did see them in Vendor Village and said hello.
Okay.
But yeah, so I know Doug didn't get to talk about this.
No, I'm just listening like everybody else. Getting the lowdown.
Yeah, it's if you follow me on Facebook, I posted a rule last night, and it was Rocky from the Stallone
I didn't see it.
movie.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
So the music behind it is, Rocky talking to whoever the new guy is in the movie.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, that's not the Rockies that I remember.
Yeah.
Or that you remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's talking about, it's not about how hard you hit, it's how hard you could take the hit.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, this weekend humbled me for sure. I'll never say I'm the best shooter anywhere, but I thought it was pretty decent.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, when you just have bad calls,
yeah,
that hurts you real bad, and that is what it is.
Yeah.
Now it's time to learn and figure it out, fix it, and
this is the big leagues now. So
that's it.
All the big boys.
And it was so funny because there was some guys that I knew just from acquaintances.
Yeah.
I'd see them walk by and I'd be like, oh, hey, and you're so-and-so. And, we just start bullshitting like we've known each other. But yeah, so
yeah,
it's fun. And I don't know if I would want to go and shoot a known class, because it would make me like with the exception of the ones that like I pulled or pushed, and I knew I did it.
Yeah.
Every shot felt like it broke perfectly.
Okay.
So I was super happy with the setup. So I'm almost afraid to go shoot a known course.
Yeah.
And see what happens, because then is it like, okay, was it a mixture of bad shots and bad judging, or was it just bad judging? Because like I said, if I was in the scoring ring, I didn't leave it very often if they were good. If the numbers were right, I didn't leave very much unless I was pushing shots. And the 5s were judgment calls that I didn't feel 100% on once I got the bow drawn.
Okay.
So I aimed high or low, and that's where I hit was high or low.
Yeah. But so, I think I would want to go and shoot a known, because then that'll just tell you, was it you, or was it judging, or, was it right shot,
Yeah.
That will kind of clarify everything.
No, and I think now that obviously the kids have to practice for Worlds, we're going to have to take a ride down the high mountain and go shoot. And I'll shoot, I'll judge it first and then kind of shoot it with the rangefinder. See if I was right.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah. So we got this weekend coming up. Doug may be on by himself. He may be here with me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes for sure. But we are going to the following week start our live on air. Well, not live, but on air with our vendor folks from up at Archery Fest.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with this one because I don't know if I'll be able to get Mary on the phone.
Yep.
But so we're going to start this one off with Mary from Rugged Road Coolers. You're going to hear kind of her take on 1, the shoot, and 2, a little bit more about Rugged Road.
Yeah.
Rugged Road, we actually took those coolers with us this weekend. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Worked great. I tested out my new...
that little Bluetooth?
Yeah, the little Bluetooth, the estimator.
All right, cool.
It was perfect. I put 5 pounds of ice in it, told me I had 19 hours.
Yeah.
And because it sat in the back of my truck with the sun beating on it all day while we were driving, we got there and I had about 6.7 hours left.
Okay.
So taking into accountability that it was probably 95 degrees in the back of my truck.
Yeah. Was it pretty accurate then?
Yeah. I mean, the ice was still frozen. It was just melting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that it worked out pretty well.
Not cool.
And I would just check it every once in a while on my phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to queue up Mary's interview that she did with Doug at Archery Fest.
Yep.
And then, like I said, we'll figure out what's going to happen on Sunday.
Yes.
But you'll hear more. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. If you want to hear about something, we're going to start getting into more product. We will, I promise, start videos, not this coming Sunday, but the following week. We will be back on YouTube, Huntcast Podcast.
Yeah.
And
do some product reviews.
Product and bows.
Yeah.
Well, I'll actually bring my verdict in the way I had it set up for the shoot so everybody can see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, we appreciate you guys tuning in. And if you want to hear about something, see something, talk about something, shoot us an email, huntcastpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram or over on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we will talk to you guys soon.
All right. See you
later.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Next up on our list of vendors is Rugged Road. And we've got Mary here, and she's going to talk about Rugged Road and their products and what they're all about.
Hey there. Yeah, thanks for the introduction. We're stoked to be here. Our first year at this event, and it's been a blast already.
Cool.
We offer the lightest premium cooler on the market. So you will get, a multi-day ice retention with our coolers, and they're super neat because they will float upright, fully loaded. So it's a lot of fun. And I've never been to Pennsylvania. So as I've been out here talking to folks, I hear more and more, oh, this would be perfect for floating the river.
Absolutely.
This would be great for my pool. And, being from Texas, we do a lot of that. So I get to say, absolutely, it will be. Our coolers, they have a lifetime warranty as well.
Cool. Okay.
So anything, any issue that ever arises, we're in the process of building a brand. We're committed to the people who take a chance on our products, and we will replace a cooler, if it encounters damage. But they're very durable, so that rarely happens.
Yes.
They've also got a really cool feature. The lid is reversible. On one side, you've got a flat top, and the other, you've got some cup holders.
So
multi-use tool. Exactly.
Yeah.
You flip it right over. Yeah, they're a great product. And something else I've learned in the industry is no matter who you are, you need a cooler.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. For hot and cold, right?
Hot and cold, exactly.
So,
exactly. My little brother boils crawfish and sticks them in the cooler afterwards, and they stay warm for days. So, it's a great product, a great brand. We're super committed to our expansion and building relationships with the people who test out our innovative gear.
Yeah.
It's been a great ride.
Okay. And I tell you, I could attest to how durable they are because you guys were nice enough to donate some coolers for the courses. So as you guys are coming down and shooting the course, you're going to find coolers full of water, and they're super durable. And this morning when we went back to refill, the ice hadn't changed. The ice is the same ice that we put in there yesterday. So it's well over 24 hours and the ice hasn't changed. So awesome coolers.
Thank you.
We appreciate you coming up and supporting the shoot.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having us.
We look forward to seeing you next year.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Mary.
Bye-bye.